Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Turning Points. My name is KJ Sharp. I am the CEO and Development Specialist for Sharp Turns and the World Stage Development Project. I haven't made one of these things in a while. I've been in and out of the hospital for 4 months. If you've been following my journey, then you would know something about that. I was diagnosed at first with transverse myelitis, which basically is a attack on your spinal cord that keeps your legs from working. I overcame that again and again, and finally, final diagnosis was neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder. A lot of words, which basically means it's a rare autoimmune disease that attacks your spinal cord and the optic nerves in your brain. My optic nerve is fine, thank God. But there are lesions that have developed on my spinal cord that when I got out of the hospital the last time, I was on this wonderful thing called a wheelchair. It has been a journey. It definitely has been a journey, and it's a journey that I'm still on. Love this journey, as my sister Denise Rose would say, her show, the journey. So it has definitely been a journey. Suddenly disabled. It throws everything out the window. Going to the bathroom, washing myself, can still feed myself, still more of my upper body, but my lower body. So there was a disconnect between my brain, and because of the disconnect between my brain and my spinal cord, I couldn't feel where my body was in space at any given moment. And it was a lot to overcome, a lot to get used to. I thank God for where I am now. So today it starts with my superpower, which is gratefulness. And sometimes it was hard to be grateful. It's scary when you're healthy, very healthy, one day, and then the next day you're told that you have this incurable disease, and that is a rare disease, and that only 1 in 100,000 people in the world get this disease, and even fewer get the disease in the aggressive form that it has attacked me. So that's scary, and that is life-changing. And if you've ever been to a place where something has changed your life, the challenge is to not let that thing define your life. And every day I'm faced with that challenge of not letting this thing define my life, not letting a wheelchair define who I am, not letting a walker define who I am, not letting what I can no longer do define who I am. I have those moments. I have those moments of depression. I have those bouts of anxiety. I have fears that I didn't have before. The fear of falling, um, the fear of losing everything. That's a fear I've had before. So, um, the fear of not being loved sometimes, in the sense of not so much not being loved, but the fear of not being accepted. You know, one thing I've experienced since I've been in a wheelchair and since I've been using a walker in the last few months is that people look down on you because you, they consider disabled throwaways. You know, and the expression on people's faces when they look at you and the things they say to you, people throw you away. And so I've had that experience, and it's been quite an eye opener. It's been quite an eye opener. One of the things I had to go through, one of the therapies I had to go through was chemo. So, you know, this fashionable headpiece I have on is because I've lost all my hair and I'm not ready to show the world. You know, some people have said, "Oh, just rock the bald." No, no. You know, for some people that's, you know, that's cool. But for me at this place right now, you know, I only rock that with my family and close friends. So yeah, um, that was humbling. That was a very humbling experience. And again, the challenge is to still find things to be grateful for, to not let what has happened to me define me. I have a tattoo, I guess you could see it, on my left breast area, and that was about my son and his death, and that was a very defining moment for me. And now I have these other tattoos that were given to me by the hospital. You'll see these two like puncture wounds here. That was from a port I had to have in my chest. And what they do is, if you can, you'll see a scar. It looks like one scar, but it's actually two, because they had to do it twice, where they cut my neck and put in the tube, and then it came out through my chest. And that was a weird experience, you know, having to have my blood cleaned, basically having to have it separated so that they could take the antibodies out that were attacking me and put something else in its place. And then after that, having to have first rituximab, which didn't work for me, and then having to have the chemotherapy, which did work, but which also took my white blood cell count down to 0. So my immune system, already compromised, was then severely compromised. So having to walk around in a mask, I went to Walmart, and I had on my mask, and I had on my hat, you know. So here I come in Walmart with this mask on my face and a hat pulled down over my head and gloves on my hands, because it was dangerous for me to catch even the common cold. So, but I had to go take care of some things. I wasn't shopping at Walmart, but I had to take care of some things and ended up doing a little shopping while I was there. And it was funny in a crazy sense to see people. I actually saw a man grab his child and pull his child away as she pointed at me, because they were afraid. They were afraid I would harm them. They were a danger to me, not the other way around. But, you know, it's how we see people in society. We see people who have illnesses or who are different as some kind of, how do you say that? I can't think of the word right now, but we see them as we see them as depraved. We see them as some kind of disease or some kind of thing on society that we need to get rid of or get away from. And it's sad to me how we see people. So again, the challenge is not to let what I see, what is happening to me, define who I am. So if there's a message I like to leave this morning, it would be, as you're going through whatever it is you're going through, feel whatever it is that you feel. When I feel pain, I feel pain. I've screamed. There has been moments where the pain is so intense that I can't do anything but scream and cry. There's no medications that will take care of the pain. So I just have to deal with the pain, and I scream and I cry. That's the reality of it. My pain is real. Um, how I feel when I feel sad, because I'm grieving the loss of who I was before this. I'm grieving the loss of a body. I'm grieving the loss of my legs. My legs still work, but they don't work like they used to. You know, at this moment in time, I can walk with my walker. I can do a little walking around the house, but it takes a lot out of me, and I have to remember how to breathe when I walk, and those how my I have to remember how to move. I have to be very cognizant of, okay, lift your left leg. Now you're right. I literally have to tell my brain these things now when they used to happen so naturally. So it's a um, whole different way of thinking about how I move now, which is interesting because as a dancer, you think about how you move, and now I think even more about how I move. I have to, because if I don't, I will fall, and any type of fall can damage um, my body in a way that could be life threatening. So I think about things like that more now. Um, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge. So what I'd like to leave with you this morning is, don't let what is happening to you, don't let what you are going through define you. Feel the pain. Cry, scream if you must. You know, holler. Even feel sorry for yourself for a little bit. Just don't stay there. You know, there are mornings where, yeah, I feel sorry for myself. I get into self-pity. I get angry. And I allow myself to be those things. Allow yourself to be angry. Allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to grieve. Just don't live there. Don't build a house there, you know. So that's it. That's all I have to say for today. And I hope this helps somebody in their journey. Um, I hope this helps you make a sharp turn in your life today. Enjoy your day.